Thanks for keeping me company.
Bloodborne is my favorite FromSoft game of all time, and with Sony flat out refusing to do anything with it, I've been thirsty for a long ass time. That's why when I first saw Lies of P, it felt like a dream. But with all dreams, they can be turned into nightmares. So that's why I started looking into the company, Round Studios, and their publisher, NeoWiz. It seems like they're a mixed bag. NeoWiz has published variable amounts of games like Bless Online, an MMORPG which died a year in. Or they might have indie darlings like Skull the Hero Slayer. Then there's Round Studios, who developed Bless Unleashed, a console port of Bless Online which died sooner, only lasting 4 months in. And they've done nothing else. And trying to find any information on the director of Lies of P, Chi-Wan Choi, finds me nothing. So with a team that's only made one game and a director who's seemingly new, I was worried. But I wouldn't be lying if I still wasn't interested. So I launched the game and I couldn't put it down. It's incredible. Lies of P takes so much from FromSoft and improves upon their games. For starters, the story is actually coherent. You don't need to watch 50 bajillion videos on item descriptions. What the fuck? Unlike other similar games, the team took the IP and developed it into something incredibly unique. But to keep it basic, the synopsis is you are Geppetto's puppet, whose goal is to kill all the other puppets, as they've turned frenzy. There's also a disease that's been infecting the humans, killing them. You need to find out who started this puppet frenzy and find a way to stop the disease from spreading. Across your journey, you'll come across NPCs where they can come over to your place and stay with free accommodation. No, but seriously, the NPCs are fantastic. In a FromSoft game, I've come to stop caring about most of them, knowing what the final outcome will be despite how interesting they become. But here, I can say from the beginning to the end, the journey is bittersweet. Well, some of them at least. A big mechanic the game hammers home is lying. You are a very special puppet, you can lie. In the game you're told repeatedly that lying is a sin, but in a land that hates puppets and blames them for the ruin of crowd, lying might be the best course of action. Some lies are greater than others, and those are usually depicted in timely manners. Lying does have consequences, and so does telling the truth, so you better choose carefully as to what you want to do. And as for the actual gameplay, it follows Bloodborne, baby! This game is the greatest spiritual successor to Bloodborne we are ever gonna get. The combat is aggressive, heart-pounding, fast-paced, decision-making. It is unlike the Souls games. You are a fucking animal! Go unga bunga, destroy everything in your path! Rip and tear! This game takes a lot from Bloodborne and the other Souls games, but it's not a Souls game. Parrying, dashing, upgrading, it's all the same but different enough. For starters, the most obvious is the puppet arm. Like Sekiro, you can change it, and there's a few of them, all with different uses and each one can be upgraded. Then there's parrying, again like Sekiro, but unlike Sekiro, it's not a rhythm game where you only have one tool and need to learn the rhythm of the beat. Instead, there's no stagger bar. You can make as many mistakes as you want and parrying isn't even needed. But if you use it enough on a boss or an enemy, the weapon breaks and it affects their damage and their output. And to get around parry spamming, the enemies can do a fury attack where they're invulnerable unless you perfect parry them. But thanks to the game's upgrading system, there's another way. Each weapon has a special technique called a Fable Art. My favorite is Ultimate Defense, letting me guard against fury attacks. It's not just for defense, I can use it offensively too, but my weapon sucks, so I never used it. That being said, there's so many different types of weapons, each one hosts a different Fable Art. And if you like a weapon and the Fable Art sucks, dismantle it and combine it with another weapon. Take this, take that, look at that, it's a beautiful boy who's ready to kill. Then there's dashing, it's just Bloodborne. And with dashing, it means the game is just gonna be fast paced. You're gonna be zipping and dipping and so are the enemies. And the game doesn't stop there. There's another mechanic called a P organ for your Pinot. It's a skill tree where you need to fill it with quartz, a special upgrade material to unlock both active and passive abilities. And with everything mentioned, the combat is extremely gratifying. Knowing when to dash in or out, when to parry, when to block, and when to attack is so much fun. And with the bosses all matching that same vibe, each one being incredibly different, requiring you to memorize one of the mechanics and having to implement them while thinking about the next step, is why I love the combat, because you're always on the move. But with that, not once did I find the bosses hard to read. In fact, I found this game to be more balanced than anything. It's still easily accessible because it's more interested in letting you learn, and it wants you to experiment. It wants you to know that you have options, and any one of those never have to be performed perfectly. The combat is incredible. It's different from any FromSoft game I've played, yet it's so similar. That being said, the only thing I dislike about this game is its level ups. I find that this game doesn't have enough variable playstyles. In a Souls game, I can focus on combat, defense, stagger, or magic, and any one of those could be my build. This game doesn't have the build factor, but I suppose it's more Bloodborne in that sense, because even in Bloodborne, you don't really get to do any of that besides dashing and strength builds, so take that as you will. I would also like to mention that I hate the stun effects of this game. Some of them are really dumb, like shock. Like, you get hit by it and then your stamina bar doesn't come back really that fast. You have to wait for long periods of time, and then you can get hit by an enemy again, and you don't even be hit. You can block the attack and you'll still be in that shock state and you can't do anything, and it takes so long for it to go away and then for you to attack them again. It's horrible. But what's not horrible is the final segment. And finally, the world. Since Dark Souls, FromSoft has been the masters of world building, and in the wake of the Souls genre, no other game has managed to capture the same feeling until now. The city of Kra feels like a real city. It feels like a place that people lived in. Every route, pathway, and place contributes to a coherent and logical setting. I'm able to see where I go or may end up. I'm able to see how much distance I've made from one area to another, and the visual storytelling of each area oozes with personality. The atmosphere is dense. Kra is a beautiful city with Victorian architecture where it hosts grand churches and fashionable shops, but then you see how it really is, and those aspects of what was have now turned to what is. Vile areas infested with puppets who are defected, the dead who are rotting in the streets, and every now and then you will come to hear music that matches the tone. And it creates diegetic areas. It creates moods and tones that feel so real. And it's something I wish the FromSoft games would do. It's so memorable. And you're able to obtain discs throughout the game to listen to them at the hotel. But with that said, as much as I love the game, the areas are short with no real secrets or hidden area. Or bosses for that matter. When I'm done with an area, there's no reason to go back. I hate that. I want to go back. I want there to be a reason, but there's nothing. And I would hope that in Lies of P 2 or as DLC they're able to change that. But as for now, it is what it is and it sucks. But the enjoyment I had going through them hasn't changed. Each area is fantastic, and for me, I will be giving Lies of P a 9 out of 10. It's honestly perfect. With a few slight caveats, it will be a 10. Since this video has been done, it's been revealed that Lies of P 2 is being a thing and its DLC is being a thing. And I really hope the team at Lies of P explore more of the underside of a poor population, as a lot of this game is rich areas. But I think we got that, but it might have been very shallow, because some of the areas are very small. But otherwise, I really hope NeoWiz helps out the developers, and I hope the director for this game stays around for a long time. I just hope they get all the help they need, because this is the best FromSoft game we've gotten since... did I say FromSoft game? Yeah, okay, fine. It's a better FromSoft game than Elden Ring. Fight me. Alright, bye.